Fences by August Wilson, pages E through G. Near the turn of the century, the destitute of Europe sprang on the city with tenacious claws and an honest and solid dream. The city devoured them. They swelled its belly until it burst into 1,000 furnaces and sewing machines, 1,000 butcher shops and bakers' ovens, 1,000 churches and hospitals and funeral parlors and moneylenders. The city grew. It nourished itself and offered each man a partnership limited only by his talent, his guile, and his willingness and capacity for hard work. For the immigrants of Europe, a dream dared and won true. The descendants of African slaves were offered no such welcome or participation. They came from places called the Carolinas and the Virginias, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and Tennessee. They came strong, eager, searching. The city rejected them, and they fled and settled along the riverbanks and under the bridges in shallow, ramshackle houses made of sticks and tar paper. They collected rags and wood. They sold the use of their muscles and their bodies. They cleaned houses and washed clothes. They shined shoes, and in quiet desperation and vengeful pride, they stole and lived in pursuit of their own dream. That they could breathe free finally and stand to meet life with the force of dignity and whatever eloquence the heart could call upon. By 1957, the hard-won victories of the European immigrants had solidified an industrial might of America. War had been confronted and won, with new energies that used loyalty and patriotism as its fuel. Life was rich, full, and flourishing. The Milwaukee Braves won the World Series, and the hot winds of change that would make the 60s a turbulent, racing, dangerous, and provocative decade had not yet begun to blow full. Setting. The setting is the yard which fronts the only entrance to the Maxon household, an ancient 2-story brick house set back off a small alley in a big city neighborhood. The entrance to the house is gained by 2 or 3 steps leading to a wooden porch badly in need of paint. A relatively recent addition to the house, and running its full width, the porch lacks congruence. It is a sturdy porch with a flat roof. 1 or 2 chairs of dubious value sit at one end where the kitchen window opens onto the porch. An old-fashioned icebox stands silent guard at the opposite end. The yard is a small dirt yard, partially fenced except for the last scene, with a wooden sawhorse, a pile of lumber, and other fence-building equipment set off to the side. Opposite is a tree from which hangs a ball made of rags. A baseball leans against the tree. 2 oil drums serve as garbage receptacles and sit near the house at right to complete the setting.